Join us now for an insight with Carl Summer.
Some children don't appreciate what they have, so they go about complaining about their lot in life. In writing Richest, Poor Kid, I tried to teach children that important lesson of learning to appreciate what they do have. Randy's main problem was with Mike, a boy living near him. Mike constantly teased him because he was poor. Randy's dad had died, and his mother had to work to support the family. Randy became angry and hated all the old things he had. His mother loved him and did many nice things for him, but it wasn't enough. Randy wished to be rich so he could put Mike in his place. Randy's mother told him, as long as we have food and clothing, we should be happy and content. There's much wisdom in that adage. I'm not advocating that we shouldn't try to better ourselves, but on the other hand, we should learn to enjoy the things we do have. So what if you don't have the latest car or a fanciest house in the neighborhood? I moved to Texas 31 years ago, and I'm still living in the same house. It's the only house I ever owned. I took a leave of absence from teaching to write my first book, Schools in Crisis, Training for Success or Failure. We had 5 children living with us, and I used up all my savings when I took that year's leave of absence from teaching. But my mission was to write a book to help our educational system. Today, I could easily afford a large house. But why? To impress others? To me, it's a foolish way to live. I'm not saying one shouldn't have a large home, but if it's just to impress others, you'll live a miserable life. Learn to be thankful for your family and for food and clothing. Things don't bring happiness, but a happy home is one of the greatest treasures you can give your children. I'm going to say something your children hate to hear, but it's the best medicine for them. It's about doing chores around the house. I'm a seasoned parent. We have 5 children, and I have 19 years of teenage experience. Teach your children to do chores, but you may complain, by the time I teach them, I could do it 10 times faster. You're right, but you'll always be doing it. Take the time to teach them and insist they do their chores properly. Many years ago, I read about a family that always had their children do all sorts of chores. The people in the neighborhood felt sorry for these poor children. But guess which children became successful later in life? It's the ones who were trained to work. Many parents make a big mistake. They think by loading their children with all sorts of material things, it will bring them happiness. In the short run, they'll be happy, but it won't last. One of the most valuable things you can give your children is time. Children need love and quality time with their parents. Take time to do things with them. Play games, go on hikes, visit parks, go fishing, swimming, camping, or whatever. You don't have your children long, so spend time and bond with them. Let them know in no uncertain way that you love them and that being with them is important to you. Randy was thrilled when he got his wish of being able to turn everything into gold. How many times you witnessed this? Ecstatic joy, then misery. A hope that was built on false dreams. How critical to think carefully before acting. Randy made a snap decision, and he ended up going from being the happiest kid in the world to the most miserable kid in the world. Randy had one more wish. Now he carefully planned every word. What did he wish for? His whole life. He got his wish and he danced around the room for joy. When his mother heard the noise, she rushed into his room. Then Randy told his mom about his experiences and how now he was so happy even with his old toy. Then he reached out and gave his mom a giant hug and told her, "I love you, Mom. Now I know that even though we don't have much money, I'm the richest poor kid having a mom like you." When I read this, it sometimes moves me to tears. How precious it is when a child genuinely loves and respects his or her parents. It's priceless. The next day when Randy went to school, he held his head high. No longer did he care what anyone thought. When he rode his old bike, he often said, "I'm sure glad my bike isn't made of gold." Isn't it amazing that in the end, nothing had actually changed in Randy's life? Everything was still old, but Randy's attitude had changed. This is not just a children's issue. Many adults have an attitude problem. They are always griping, complaining, and miserable. They want what others have instead of enjoying what they do have. They live in a world of constant dissatisfaction. If you're one of them, stop. Look around. Learn to enjoy and appreciate what you do have. Change what you can change, but learn to accept what you cannot change. If you learn to have a positive attitude in life, you and your family will be much happier. How wonderful if you can say, as a song, "Exactly who I am," that goes with this book and says, "I am a very wealthy man, for I found a fortune in my friends and family." Also, download the activity pages from the website and do the lesson, Open Your Eyes, and discover some of the precious things in life that are free.